standing here 3 years ago today, I would be in the middle of a contaminated shipyard full of heavy metals, oil slicks and toxic paint. But with the help of around 100 landscape artists and sustainability consultants, I'm standing here in Ceuvel, one of the most unique and sustainable urban spaces in Europe. They have 16 retrofitted houseboats, 14 of which house artists who, although they're not allowed to live here, do their work here and use these as office space, and people who are in creative industries to innovate, to come up with ideas. And as you can see, the grasses that surround these wooden snaking walkways are there to filter out pollution in the ground. They have their own electricity supply. They use grey water, which is household water, which is used to wash your dishes and such, which is non-septic and is actually reused, put back into the system. And this is the idea of what they call a circular economy. Rather than paying to create a waste infrastructure, we pay to extract the value from waste goods, put them back into production. So it's certainly very forward-thinking and progressive space. And today I'm going to have an interview with Charlie, one of the workers of a project which is leading in vertical farming. And we're going to go talk to him today and learn a little bit more about this space and how it interacts with the local community. Maybe you could just start by introducing yourself and tell me the kind of work that you do here. Yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Charlie Minter. I'm 28 years old. And I'm co-running a small company here. It's called Natuur op je muur, which is Dutch for nature on the wall.
I see.
And we're making vertical edible gardens. The Ceuvel in general, it was a wharf, and all the wharves that were inside of Amsterdam, they all went bankrupt because people now buy their boats in Korea and these kind of places. But then they left this site, I think it was 3 years ago, and they found out that this site was really contaminated with all kinds of dirty stuff. And it's located in the north of Amsterdam, and which was originally, it's a quite poor part of the city. Well, it was a crisis, of course, the economical crisis, so they didn't want to spend the money to clean the ground, because that's quite an expensive process. So what they did, they made it into a competition. Everybody could join the competition and come up with an idea of what they would do with the site if they would have the rights to own it for 10 years, and what they would do to deliver it clean after 10 years. And the team that won the competition, they thought of a way to make it into like a creative hotspot, and at the same time, in an environmentally friendly way, clean the contamination. Because this was an industrial site, there's no sewer connection, and there is also no gas connection. So we had to kind of rethink all the systems that you normally use. It's like a throw. After you've done your thing, you have to throw a bit of this. It's
to keep
plant
away
material.
the smell.
Yeah, well, that's the result of it. It actually absorbs the moisture. and that way you make sure that it doesn't go rotting, which smells, but instead it is composting.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's another. So instead of flushing it, you throw this material in, and then you have to do this to make sure it's aerated and spread out in the bin.
So we've just come back from a trip to Café de Ceuvel. That's where we went for lunch after our interview with Charlie, and it was fairly reasonable. The price of beer was about $2.50, and the people there were quite well dressed, kind of middle aged, mostly Caucasian, a mix of young and old actually. There seemed to be some students there, but from what they were discussing, it seemed they were involved in some kind of semi-creative, kind of entrepreneurial areas. And I did feel very comfortable there, and that people were sincere. Interestingly, the toilets they had in the cafe used normal water supply. They were like standard toilets. So they weren't the same as the compost toilets that they used in the studio. So you can see that they're drawing a line somewhere. When it comes to profitability, they're drawing a line and saying, okay, we can show that we're sustainable, but it doesn't apply in all cases. So I do feel that the kind of artist lifestyle, the kind of rough and ready lifestyle, is kind of packaged and sold to people who, in all honesty, come from elsewhere and bring money into the area. They did not seem like the local people from the immediate neighborhood.
A lot of people are anticipating this this new connection. So I know that real estate prices are gradually going up already for a couple of years, and you see that also this part used to be industrial part of the city, like completely, but now all the places where industries move out, they are being developed now into housing projects, and they're trying to. I think there is this kind of first mover advantage. So a lot of the places people can build for themselves now. Part of the reason why they wanted to put Platz on this site, because it's a bit tacky in the surrounding area, and then it's a strategy that has been working for some time in Amsterdam. If you have a tacky area, you put some like creative people in there, and then they will. Well, this is part of I think what gentrification is. And it works. In Amsterdam, it works.
That would be interesting to see when those people start to move in and you have those living alongside the local population, like how that kind of conflict will play out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think from what I've seen here, where it is already, so you have this street with all the car companies, and then these people who are living here, I think they're pretty rich, and I've never seen them talking to each other. It's like completely two separated worlds, even though they live like within 15 meters of each other.
It was an enjoyable experience. I learned a lot from it. And I really think that if the principles of a circular economy, I think they are very honourable, and I think, yeah, they definitely could work on a wider sense, but they have to be for the people who need it the most, and if they're not, it does kind of undermine the sense of equality and of taking care of the world, which is supposed to be at the basis of having organic food and reusing waste. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, that's it today. Thanks.